Hey there guys, Ben Rising here with Whitetail Edge, and today what we're doing is we're bringing to you a series by Black Widow deer lures. So as you can see here, we have like the Black Widow scrape beads, and these beads here you can mix with anything. Any of these scents you can infuse these beads with and they'll swell up and suck that scent in. We have the Dominator, which is a dominant buck lure, the Black Widow, the Matriarch, which is a dominant doe in estrus smell. Scrape Master is a blend of doe and estrus, also with some buck tarsal gland. This is a really good curiosity blend. And then we have the obvious, the Hot and Ready, which is what Black Widow's known for the most. Peak of the rut, bucks go nuts over this. And then even, you know, before the peak of the rut, because there are some deer that come into heat a lot earlier than others, and so sometimes this is that one lure that you can use that will get deer fired up a lot earlier than others. And so it really has a good application late, early, before the rut, during the rut, and after the rut even. So this is a deadly lure right here. This is an existing scrape that's been here on this farm for some time, and every year they have this thing destroyed. And like I said, you know, we're not lying here. You know, this is coming into spring now. You know, the foliage is just now starting to think about blooming, but these deer are still using this scrape. And this is what I call a community scrape, and they'll use these a lot, even in the woods, different places like that, close to bedding areas. But I think to a deer, a scrape is more than just picking up, you know, that hot doe scent. They want to know what other deer are in the area, because those deer are going to use that scrape. One thing, you know, when I'm working scrapes, you want to wear like a pair of rubber gloves if you're going to make a mock scrape. A lot of times you don't have to make mock scrapes, but you can make mock scrapes in areas that will help you develop a scrape in a new area. One thing right here, now this is what we call a licking branch. This one has obviously been busted up a lot. And you can see here, you know, these deer they'll come up, they'll actually chew on those branches. They'll come up to these licking branches like this, and they'll put their salivatory gland on there. And then what they'll do is they'll use their preorbital gland. They'll come up and they'll start rubbing their eyes on those things, and then they'll smell them and lick them. And every deer that'll come into this scrape will do the same thing. They want to leave their scent on this. And you'll see bucks stand up on their hind legs, and they'll rake their antlers in these leaves, you know, when they're out, especially early season like that. And it's something about, they just love that smell, and they want to let every other deer in the area know that they've been there. And a lot of times, early season like that, I notice them, you know, they'll scrape and scrape and scrape. And a lot of times you'll actually see them, you know, defecate into a scrape like that, or they'll pee down their hocks, you know, and they'll rub their hocks together, and that scent just runs off their glands down into their feet and into the scrape. A lot of times you don't see a lot of that activity till they're really getting ready heavy to breed, you know, or they're like really revved up pre-rut. You know, those scrapes like this time of year and that, I think a lot of them, what they're doing more or less is they're coming in, they're working these licking branches. You know, they'll put some tracks in there. They might take a little bit of a leak in that scrape a little bit, but they're not doing so much more of the breeding activity. They're doing more of that communicating with each other, letting other deer know who's around, who's been here. And even the does will do this. I mean, you'll see big dominant does come in and do the same darn thing. As you can see here, you know, there's hair that's already on these branches. It's on these little ones too. But, you know, these deer are leaving this hair right on there. And that tells you, I mean, even this time of year, and we just had rain the other day. The rain would have washed that off. We had rain Saturday. This is Tuesday. So that tells you, I mean, how often these deer in these feeding areas will communicate through these scrapes and let other deer know that they're there. It's pretty amazing, truthfully. It's kind of like their telephone system in my sense. They're text messaging each other.